Paid for by Right Path Real Estate does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership
Morning,
of
Facebook
this
folks.
station. It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
Welcome to the show. Oh, man. On the wrong Facebook page. I got to get on the Right Path page.
Get ready. The guide that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Mike's on.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome to the show, actually.
Welcome back from Monday.
Right, welcome back from Monday because we were best of show yesterday.
Yeah.
We actually had some plans to go to the auction yesterday,
Yeah.
not to buy a property. We actually, as a lender, took a property to auction yesterday,
Yeah.
and so we actually decided to sharpen our swords.
Well, we found out that it was going to be later,
Yep.
later in the day, and we didn't want to go sit down there and wait for 3 or 4 hours. But we've got some other things that we are training ourselves on.
Yeah, in fact, one of the things that's come up just recently is that, there's no such thing as stable in business. You're
Yes.
either growing or you're dying.
Yes.
And there's no such thing as just staying the same. So that's just
And I think it's easy to get caught up
Oh, yes.
in staying the same,
It is.
especially when things are running and gunning and you're churning, right?
Yep.
You've always got a new fire to put out. There's always a new deal to close. There's
Yes.
always a new process to refine. There's constantly stuff to do in the day-to-day.
Yeah, right.
In the micro.
Right.
But in the macro, if you're not becoming better at what you do, if you're
Right.
not helping your employees become better at what they do, if
Yeah.
you're not growing as a business,
Right.
then you're going backwards.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yeah, and so one of the things they describe, like, your ideal client is your avatar, right?
Yes.
And not like the movie.
No.
Which, not going to get political about the socialist movement in that movie or anything like that, or actually should say environmental, thing of that movie. But anyhow, so not the movie, but your ideal client. You kind of create an avatar who that person is, and so I think oftentimes in business you don't define who that is. And like I know in our house flipping business where we flip houses, we do buy and hold, and then we also wholesale properties. When I say our ideal client, it all begins with getting the deal under contract, right? Yeah. And so I think oftentimes people mistakenly come into this business, of wholesaling, and then we want to, because they've got little or no capital, and so they come in, want to learn how to wholesale, and don't really have the money to market, so they're going to either door knock or drive for dollars, things like that, and that works. I mean,
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, it does absolutely work. Now, you're going to have to skill up because it doesn't work just blindly. You're going to have to do it and commit to it. And most people, if you don't have a purpose that's driving you, that's strong enough, because it's not going to be easy.
So I was Monday night. I went to
you did.
Andy and Andre's meetup.
Yeah.
They do a meetup for wholesalers.
Right. And what's it called?
Wholesale Nation.
Yeah, Wholesale Nation. Right.
So
And Andre has got to be one of the sharpest sales guys that I know.
I would rank him right up there with you.
Okay.
I really
Yeah.
would. I look at him
I don't
that
dispute it.
highly.
Yeah.
He just has a sense about people.
Sure.
He really does.
He does.
And so they're there and they're talking about marketing and things like that. So a lot of these newer people without capital have
Right.
been doing door knocking,
Right.
they're chasing the foreclosure lists and things like that.
But it's different. Like if he were to door knock,
Totally
and the
different.
skill set that
But
he's got in
I'm
sales.
hearing from the crowd
Right.
they're so mean and people and they never answer the door and it's
Yeah.
like this is part of the process.
Yeah, right.
If you want to learn and become proficient at
Yeah, I was
that,
like, what do you expect? They're going, oh, I'm so glad that you came. Yes, I'm in trouble.
yeah,
yes.
they're sitting outside in a lawn chair waiting for you to get there.
I know, right? Yeah.
But it's part of the process, and the skill comes from that repetition.
Yes, right.
And doing it over and over and over.
Right.
You will get deals that
Well,
way.
and it's not just doing it over and over and over again. It's like, okay, you do it, you get kicked in the teeth,
Yes.
and you go, ow, that kind of smarts.
How could I handle that better?
Yeah, what could I have done differently?
Yeah.
And so if you don't have somebody to bounce those ideas off of, then how do you, like I've always, when I've been working on my skill set, I've always had a group of other people that I can say, hey, I did this, this, and this. Here's my idea. What's your idea on what I could have done differently? And because then that's all, like a little mini mastermind, right?
Yep.
And the idea that my idea plus your idea creates a third idea that neither one of us would have come up with to begin with. And so if you don't have a way to critique what I call a debrief, and so many times when I'm training new salespeople or things like that, that's the number one thing that we do. While it's immediately fresh, we go out on a sales presentation. We went out yesterday, Nikki and I, and met with a lady in Pasadena that lives in this house, and immediately, I mean, and we're normally coming from different places, so we're not riding together, and we're normally going to different places when we're done. And so as a result, the very first thing I do, I get back in my car, she gets back in her phone. Get on the phone. Hey, what'd you think? What could we have done better? What went well? What didn't go well? And it's also good that I've got another set of ears because I know what I hear, and maybe they sometimes pick up on things that I may have missed, or those kind of things. So,
well, I think when you have somebody who's been on 1,000 appointments with sellers like you, right, or somebody who's been on just a couple dozen like Nikki,
right,
you're getting completely in opposite ends of the spectrum on perspective.
Yes,
right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's huge.
And that's the way I train. Is that they'll have her go ride with me and then watch me do it. And because if you saw the transition from where this person was just 2 weeks ago, versus where they are today, mindset wise. I mean, 2 weeks ago, she wouldn't answer her phone, she wouldn't answer her door, she wouldn't respond to text. I mean, and then to see her yesterday, we're really making an impact and a difference. And she was crying yesterday, not tears of sadness, but tears of joy, because the reason why she wasn't responding before is she had no hope.
Yeah.
And now she has hope. And that's what's fascinating to me, is that when you recognize that the value proposition that you can provide to people is not that you're taking advantage of people in a desperate situation. Because that's not her situation at all. But she was in a situation where, she has no hope. And when you can bring hope to someone that doesn't have hope, now you've got a totally different mindset about what it is that you're doing, and what you're going after is completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think when you're going into it with that mindset,
right,
it really does help you get to the place you were trying to get to a lot easier.
Right.
What I think is great about that story is she's almost like a byproduct of this deal. She's not.
No, she's
not the person selling.
Yeah, she's not even the owner of the property. She's not a tenant.
Technically, it could be, hey, get out of here, or we're going to evict you.
Right.
But that's not how we handle things.
It's not.
Right? Because we're about people.
Correct.
And
it's how we handle things sometimes. I mean, just don't get me wrong.
But not from the beginning.
Right, no, right.
We never go in that way.
We never, ever go in that way.
Even when I think you should go in that way, I see you not go in that way.
I'm always reluctant to go that way.
Absolutely.
There's always, you can train a horse with a carrot. They love carrots or apples. And you can also train them with a stick. And both work.
Yeah.
But my preference is I'd always rather go in with the sugar of the carrot, right?
Yeah.
Give them a little sugar,
You're kissing on horses?
Sugar cubes. I mean,
yeah.
Although I've kissed a horse before.
Okay.
I mean, I've owned my own horse before.
Got it.
Yeah, and then also for those of y'all that know my story, I went to a military school in 8th grade down in Harlingen, Texas, called the Marine Military Academy. And so there's all different types of, you were required to be in an after-school activity. And we had some, they had football and basketball like everybody. We didn't have a baseball team.
Playing basketball?
Wasn't, although our basketball team went to state, our football team went to state and won for its particular division and all that. And I was the mascot major.
Okay.
So the mascot of the Marine Corps is an English bulldog.
Okay.
And so for the Marine Corps Military School was also so I marched in parades with this dog and marched in Mardi Gras. And
do we have a picture of that somewhere?
Yeah.
I would love to see.
Oh, if you see the yearbook from that year, I mean there are pictures galore. I mean it was.
I would love to
me
see
and
a picture
the dog.
of you and the dog.
Yeah, I'll have to bring that tomorrow or something like that.
Get somebody on that.
Yeah, get somebody on that.
We get somebody to get on that now and get it posted on the Facebook Live. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna. That would be hard to find.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, right. There's only one guy on Facebook that I know that would probably have the same. And the guy that I was pointing out yesterday. Yeah. But okay, so that was not my full-time after-school activity though. So they actually had a mounted detachment there because they have.
Wow.
Yeah, because the cavalry and all that, and so I actually rode a horse in parades. and was actually lettered in mounted detachment, and wrote an English saddle. So in the military rides, not in Western saddles, but English style. So and rode a jumper. So would jump the horse and stuff like that. And
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, a horse named Hot Stuff. Still remember. I know it's probably not alive today.
My wife did a lot of that growing up, the English riding and
2 minutes
jumping and all that fun stuff.
So, right.
Sorry, we got off on a little tangent on horses.
Yeah.
But the point is,
carrot versus a stick, right?
Yeah. Carrot versus a stick, and you can do this business either way. And at the end of the day, you're going to get more bees with honey.
Yeah.
Right, and you're going to enjoy the business a lot more.
Yeah. Right.
I think when you can find a fulfillment internally.
Yeah.
In what you're doing for financial reasons.
Right.
Man, what a win-win.
Right.
And I think that's what most people are looking for in this world.
Yeah.
So if you can go about this business, if you can go about life doing things for the right reason,
right,
no matter what, then you're going to find some fulfillment through that. Yeah,
so really we've been working on redefining what our avatar is for our client, who we're reaching out to in Right Path Real Estate. And what I can tell you is it's someone that's, a business owner or somebody that works as an employee in a corporation that realizes, and you're reading a great book right now called 401 Chaos with a K, K-A-O-S, and it's really giving some insights. And we'll talk a little bit about that because a lot of times people get so stuck in the rut of life on a day-to-day basis that they're not living a life of purpose. They're not living a life by design. They're not living the life of their dreams. What they're doing is they're just existing, going through life. And so we will help people that want to learn how to wholesale, and we'll learn how to flip. But more and more, we're transitioning to a place that you can build wealth and income so much faster. And I'm going to talk about it. In fact, we can talk about it today. About a deal that we just did because it just happened. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We're going to talk about a fourplex that I did, and so we'll be right back.
We'll see you in 4 minutes. I'm going to grab the water.
Yeah, I've got one over here.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts. Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
1 minute.
All right.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? then you may have foundation
Good morning,
movement. Due to our
Lovey on
expansive soils in the
Instagram.
Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement.
I talked to a guy yesterday that
Call
only
Foundation
place he
Check
listens
for
to
a
us is
truly
on Instagram. Because
independent,
I'm not a Facebook guy.
unbiased foundation
He goes, there's so
evaluation.
much time that can get
Foundation
wasted. He
Check
said,
has been in business since 2009 and has
I like
completed over
Instagram so much
1,400
better because
evaluations.
there's not,
We're
it's
not
not
in
as
the
much.
business of
Nice.
repairing
Yeah.
foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating
There's not a
your
lot of
foundation.
clutter on Instagram.
Right.
Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's
10 seconds.
346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
This is Business 1110.
Mike's on.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, where we want to give you some practical real estate investing information. Really what it is, the reason why we do this show is to help you get from wherever you are right now. And here's one of the struggles I see is a lot of people don't really know where they are right now.
Yeah.
They've not really taken an inventory of where they are. But we also want to help you get to where you want to get to. And that's the second issue that I realize is most people don't really know where they're trying to get to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that most people that we speak to, and we speak to, I mean, literally thousands of people in a year. I mean, no question, easy. Thousands and thousands of people. And we have a lot of the same questions, the dialogues. Yeah. They're asking us the exact same questions.
Of course, and we know before they're going to ask. And
then we're asking them questions.
Yes.
And we get the same answers over and over.
And very often we know the answer. We just want them to hear themselves say it, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to realize, too, that you not knowing where you are and you not knowing where you're trying to get to is not saying that you're not working hard, you're not doing the right thing, that you're not out there getting it done.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that most people just haven't taken the time or had somebody.
Because working hard is not enough.
It's
I mean,
not
I
enough.
see so many people that want to get into wholesaling, for example. Oh, man, I got the hustle. I'm going to just grind.
Work
Yeah.
at the 10X, baby, 10X.
Yeah. And it's a mindset that I'm just going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And it's like that mindset without a purpose will not ever lead to success.
It won't. Because here's the problem. Like, I know, people that are in construction.
Yeah. Me too.
And, I mean, they work hard.
Right.
I'm talking 12, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
6, 7
First time I
days
ever
a
watched
week.
a guy dig up the hole for a foundation piling or pier, whatever. And what they had to do with that hydraulic jack and how deep they had to go and on a nice, August day or the roofers that I know.
Yeah.
I mean, like the guy, when I say roof, I mean, like I felt like, when I had Fast Track, I was a roofing company. I mean, that's what we did. But I didn't actually do the roofs myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been up on a roof in August.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm off of it in like 10 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't spend 10 hours on the day there.
I spent about 3 weeks doing a tar roof when I was about 14.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah. No, that was enough.
that was enough.
That was enough. Yeah.
That was enough.
And so you realize that those people are working hard, but I don't know anybody that's ever gotten wealthy. I mean, I've known guys that got wealthy owning a roofing company.
Different story.
Never one. It's not about working hard. You actually have to have a goal in mind in terms of where you're trying to get to. And for a lot of people, they don't even know the right questions to even get to that goal. And that's one of the things that through our mastermind that we help people get through answering those questions. In fact, I always love it when you're in a new book because you bring some.
I love sharing.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, and I find that I'm going through this book a little slower than usual because we've got so much other stuff going on.
Right.
But I'd like to read this little insert if I could this morning. It's actually a quote from Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
That really opened my eyes to.
Warren who?
He's a guy that's an investor.
Is he an old man?
He's an older guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of wisdom.
Who's still doing it on a daily basis.
Yeah, right.
Because he's got a hunger.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got to put food on the table. Everybody's got to eat.
On somebody's table.
Everybody's got to eat.
All right, so it's the ultimate irony in investment business is that there is no question that an obstetrician can deliver babies better than the husband or wife. If you take dentists as a whole, they will pull teeth or fill teeth better than if the patient does it themselves. But in the investment world, someone who believes in American business and is consistent will get results that exceed the professionals as a group. it is the only industry I can think of where the professional's efforts subtract value from what the layman can do himself.
That's huge. And here's a guy that's actually in the industry, right?
Yes.
I mean, he probably has some friends because he knows the guys at Goldman. He knows the guys at...
Of course.
You know.
Like, and those guys are probably like, why would you say that?
Yeah, right. You're not... Hey,
come on, bro. You're not helping.
I mean, he can pretty much say whatever he wants to.
He can say whatever he wants.
He can say whatever he wants.
He could probably speak out against anybody and be just fine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to come from a guy like that, how huge is that? That you yourself are better qualified, given that you take the time. If you know
business, but he had a qualifier in there.
Yeah, you have to take the time
you have to know business.
Well, he said believe in American business.
Yep, right.
And take the time to educate yourself on how the investments work.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Which he's done.
Right.
You don't have to go to school for that. You can do that on your own.
Right.
Doing that for yourself,
right,
you're in a better position than letting the professionals handle it for you.
Yes.
Because as a whole, their performance is not what you need to get where you're going.
Right. Well, it hadn't been as good as what his performance has been.
Obviously not.
Right. In fact, when you look at what are the rates of returns, the guys that there's obviously some hedge fund managers that make, they just kill it. They make ridiculous amounts of money.
Of course.
And but when you look at their clients, the rates of return that their client now they're making a lot of money for their clients.
Yeah.
However, we see situations where people are earning 2-3% for their clients and still charging 1% of assets under management.
Yeah.
So 2.8% becomes 1.8%.
Yep.
And I can't say that's. Heck, you could go put it in an S&P 500
Well, and here's
index
the thing:
fund.
what you're talking about is still pre-tax. Like
right.
They haven't paid taxes on the money yet.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So that 1.8% still has some stuff that has to be taken off the bone.
Well, and that also doesn't take out. That's just the base, because they're on a quarterly basis. They're moving funds from this sector to that sector,
Yep.
and there's transaction fees on that as well for every time they do a transaction, and for the active management side, and then you take the 20% for capital gains.
So let's talk about some returns in real estate. Let's talk about that fourplex.
Yeah. So a lot of people, what they do is so many times they have this mindset that says, hey, because I don't have capital, that I've got to go wholesale to build capital to then, in fact, this guy that I spoke to yesterday, he was going to it. He's in San Antonio. And hopefully he's listening on Instagram. But he was going to a meetup in San Antonio about real estate investing. And he said, look, I don't have really a lot of capital right now. However, I've got some wealthy family members. I got one cousin that's got $1 million. And he said, hey, I'll back you on some deals, but I have to see you do a deal first.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
And he works full time, but he's got to slow down in his full time job right now that he can devote a little bit more time in the short term to wholesaling.
Okay.
But I think about the deal that I just did, for example. Now, one catch to it is you've got to learn how to talk to people that have money and be able to raise private money. And so we have someone that we know that had about $200,000 in an IRA and earning zero.
Yes.
And
self-directed
IRA, right? And so I said, well, hey, I'd like to lock that money up for like 5 years at, let's say, 6%. And he said, well, I'd like to get a higher interest rate, and I'm like, well, and I'd like to pay a lower interest rate. So, and if now here's the thing is, I can pay you like 7% if I'm only paying you like I'll use it for some flips, and you'll get a little bit higher interest rate, but it won't be
utilized.
It's not
nonstop, exactly.
Right, or I can utilize all of it for like 5 years.
Yeah.
You can set it and forget it. You're not analyzing deals all the time, all that kind of stuff. And so, there's a fourplex down in Dickinson.
So, before you get into that, I think it's important to realize that when you're looking at the return on investment, you have to also look at the time that you have to put in.
Sure, right.
So for the next 5 years, he doesn't have to put in any more time to earn that return.
Correct.
Right? As opposed to if he maybe got 7 or 8 from somebody else, but had to constantly review deals every 3 or 4 or 6 months.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
So what is your time worth? And that's something that a lot of people tend to overlook when they're looking at what they can get for their money.
And what I don't know is if it's a traditional IRA or if it's a Roth IRA. I don't know the difference there for his particular situation. But what I know is that 6% on $200,000 is $12,000 a year.
Yeah.
And which is $1,000 a month. So every month he'll get $1,000 sent back to his IRA. So in 5 years, if we don't renew, then he'll get his $200,000 back plus $1,000 a month for 60 months. So his $200 turns into $260. Guaranteed back by real estate over a 5-year period of time. So it's a win for him. But then just sharing the numbers. I mean, here's this in this fourplex. There's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It used to be 5 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and they've done some modifications. And so there's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in there. There's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and then there's 2 1-bedroom, 1-baths.
Okay.
So it's actually a fourplex now, and it's in decent condition. Needs some work and things like that. But I'm all in. It needs I'd say about $12,500 a door. So there's 4 doors. It needs about $50,000. But it's being occupied now. I mean, there's tenants in there now. It's just not being run as a month-to-month rental. It's not an Airbnb or anything like that. But it's being run as a sober house.
Okay.
And so the situation is that it was brought to me by a wholesaler that was looking to market it through our group. And she got it under contract for $110, and she said, "Hey, I've got an assignment fee of $20,000, so I'm trying to sell it for $130." And I ran the numbers and looked at this, and I thought, well, okay, so a 2-bedroom, 2-bath down there in a duplex, a fourplex, something like that. It's basically like an apartment, right?
Yeah.
I thought that would rent for about $1,050 a month. And then the 2-bedroom, 1-bath, I figured about $950 a month. And then the 2 1-bedroom, 1-baths,
2 minutes.
I figured like $850 a month. So we've got $850 twice is like $1,700, and then $950 on top of that is like $2,650, and then another $1,050 on top of that. We're looking at like $3,700 a month if it's fully occupied, right? Okay. Now I've got $1,000 a month that goes out in the form of the interest.
Yep.
And that leaves me $2,700 a month to cover. So the question is can I cover taxes and insurance, and management for about $700, $800, $900 a month?
Yeah.
And so let's say it's $900 a month for all that. So I'm in at $1,900, and I bring in another $1,800 a month in positive cash flow.
Correct.
And I've got no money in the deal.
No money in the deal, and you just created half of the median income in Houston.
Yeah.
Passively.
Yeah, and so imagine, could you do that 10 times over the next 5 years? And 10 times is not $1,800, but it's $18,000 a month.
Yes.
1 minute.
If you just said, hey, I want to do 2 of those a year and raise private money, and at the end of the 5 years, could you retire if you had $18,000 a month coming in?
I would guess most people probably could.
Yeah. And so it's not, I mean, wouldn't it be easier to do that than it is to go and wholesale, to learn how to flip, to learn how to do buy and hold? And that didn't require my credit. It didn't require, a job. I mean, although I've got a good job, and it didn't require, any money out of pocket. In fact, I brought money.
Required a little bit of knowledge and some relationships.
Right. That's really what it required.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really work hard getting the deal.
No. It was just out there.
Right. And there are other deals like that out there. It's just a matter of if you put your work into that. So we'll continue on the other side.
Absolutely.
4 minutes, we'll be right back. Because if I can do it, you can too.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning, Ginger. Good morning,
Do
Brad.
you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work. But we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords.
Was that just in the email that I forwarded?
Yeah, you sent it to me in an email.
Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
I was hanging that sign yesterday.
Yeah.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties? Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million.
You know that is, right?
Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com.
Hey, Brad, how's it going out there in Alvin?
That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
1 minute.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
Mike's on.
Yeah, Rick, that's good. That's really good. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. If you want to call in, if you want to ask questions about how do I get started wholesaling, or maybe I'm stuck. Maybe I am a wholesaler now. It's always fascinating because, we go to networking events, and it's mainly real estate networking events, and a lot of our clients don't go to networking events at all.
Not typically.
And so, because they're typically like a business owner that is working.
I think if they do, they go to the JET event once a month.
But even, when I look
most of them don't even go to that.
Right. Yeah, and so nothing wrong with going to that. I mean, it's a great event to go to and all that.
Nothing they're looking for is there.
But really, a lot of our clients are trying to do nothing more than, hey, Tom, I've got this money, and I need it to grow for my retirement because I don't want to keep working as hard as I'm working forever. And so can you show me how I can maximize those returns? And, if you put it in an S&P 500, index fund, you're looking at about 10% rate of growth. If you can do as well as Buffett's done, you're looking at about 20% over 50 years, which is phenomenal. I mean, you can obviously get rich on 20%, but I mean, we're showing some percentages that are in the 35, 40, 45% on capital.
Yeah.
So you put $30,000 into a house. You borrow the balance of the purchase price. Now, there is a way to mess that up. You can buy a too expensive house, right? You can buy a $300,000 house that doesn't work the same. You can buy a too cheap house. You buy a $45,000 house it's not better. Yeah. But sweet spot's about $150,000, $160,000 house. People say, well, do those really exist? I'm like, yeah. Move away from Montrose. Move away from
get out of the loop.
Get out of the loop. But there's a few places that are in the loop, but
but they're going to be the first to go.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Those would be the first areas that are no longer in that price range.
Correct. So, you buy a $150,000 house, and then people ask me, well, Tom, is that safe? And one of the things that
aren't the $150,000 houses more flammable than the $300,000 ones?
Well, here's what for me, it's like I know that banks are probably some of the more risk-averse investors that I know.
Yes.
Right? I mean, they are very, very conservative. I mean, I used to joke when I was just out of college, once I really understood banking and what, you deposit $1 million in their bank, and they'll think about loaning you $500,000 at 6% interest.
Yeah.
Just to help you. If you need a loan, hey, we're here to help you out. Right, yeah. And which is kind of conservative. I'll loan you your money, charge you interest on your money.
Yeah.
Now, but I'm paying you interest. So I'll charge you. I'll pay you 1% while you're parking here.
I'll pay you 1%, you pay me 6%.
Yeah, right. And
everybody wins.
Yeah, everybody wins. Yeah, same, right? And then anybody like, well, why wouldn't I just use my own money? And that's another story, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they only want to lend on collateral. Yes. And so I've always thought it's fascinating. Like if I want to go and buy Exxon stock. And I want to buy $150,000 of that. I can't go to the banker and say, look, I want to put $30,000 down, and I want to borrow the other $120,000. I'll put 20% so that I have skin in the game, right? I mean, everybody knows that a banker wants you to have skin in the game, and so if I put down 20%, they pay 80%. Surely that's a win-win. Now you get to charge me interest, and
if they have to take the stock, they're getting it at a cheap price.
But right? they won't do that.
Interesting.
It's not safe and secure.
What if you put 50% down?
Nope. No.
No, I did find a guy.
If you put 100% down, they will lend you back 50% of the. Kind of like you get it, buy $1 million worth of stock.
Well, and I had a guy that was arguing with me, and I ended up getting you involved because sometimes I just need you to handle that kind of thing. But his argument was that you can absolutely buy stock on leverage, but when it got down to what he was talking about, if you have houses that you can leverage, then you can use those as leverage to buy. Like, why would you do that? It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. You're taking an asset that you can earn 30-40% on, and you're leveraging it to go use to buy an asset to make 7-8%.
Right.
I'll pass.
What I recognize is that a lot of people don't understand math.
Yeah.
And that's and that's pretty obvious in our society, because casinos are built huge on a lot of people that don't understand math.
Of course.
And there's a reason why, there's psychology involved in all that. And I'm if you've ever studied the statistics of, like blackjack or roulette or any of these games that people, or the slot machines for that matter. I mean, it's just and you realize that, hey, people really don't understand the math. In fact, the guys that do understand math, every year they have the computer expo, right? Comdex or whatever it's called, and that's actually the worst conventions. Like, it's one of the largest conventions ever in Vegas every year, right?
But they hate it.
But for the casinos, it's one of the worst money makers for the casinos. It's good for hotel revenue and all that, and they drink, and it's good for ranches out there and stuff like that. But for the actual gambling, because these guys understand math, right?
Yeah.
They apparently were pretty good at math, and most of them don't gamble much.
Yeah.
But you look at Super Bowl weekend or March Madness. I mean, the Final Four and the week before the Final Four. That's one of the busiest weeks. Some of the most money flows in through there, and that's crazy. So then I take that to real estate or to investments, and I think this was something else that was in that 401k book, that this is the first generation of people that really don't understand the investing.
Yeah. So what it says is the 401k system has created a generation, which we're just now, the first generation to start 401ks is just now getting to retirement age. But it has basically created a full generation of people that have no understanding of investments at all.
Yeah, financial ignorance is really what it is, right? So they might understand finance and things like that, but understanding really, because what's been fascinating to me, we've done this little exercise over and over and over with people, and people that are really, really smart, and you ask them, hey, and let's work through, would you pay X number of dollars for this business, right?
Yeah.
And it's really, how do you evaluate a business and what you would pay for a business? And so I typically use a machine shop or a flower shop or something like that as an example and kind of work through. and would you pay this much money? And I said, oh, before I start this, what would be a good safe stock to buy, right? And, one of the stock names that I hear a lot is Apple. Of course, right? And so then, do you understand what PE is? And I remember, man, when I was in high school, I mean, we learned in senior economics class what price earnings ratio was, right? But the average person right now really doesn't understand price earnings.
I would say 99 out of 100 probably don't.
Right. And so it's just really nothing more than what's the price of the stock selling for, at X number of dollars, and then but divided by the earnings per share, right? Yes. And so if you're selling a business, normally it's paid at some kind of multiple. Like I recently had lunch with some friends, and they're in the insurance business, and in almost every industry, there's a multiple at which you particular businesses are bought and sold for, right? I think theirs is bought and sold on about 5.5 years of recurring book of business for insurance, right? Okay. Not personal lines, but all the commercial lines and stuff like that, right? Which is phenomenal. So let's say you're bringing in $3 million a year in premiums, then that's worth 5 times that. It's worth about $15 million for your book of business. Well, that's a pretty good multiple. So start going through this scenario, a $1 million business in terms of net profit, not gross sales, net profit a year, and the owner is absentee. Let's say he's hitting his mid-90s, still a young man, but he's maybe wanting to slow down a little bit in his mid-90s, right? And so he decides, hey, I instead of leaving the business to my kids, I'd rather leave them money. It'd be easier for them. They've never been involved in the business, anything like that. But the business runs itself. So it makes $1 million a year, and then I ask the question, would you pay $1 million for that? And sometimes people say, no, I wouldn't. Well, why not? Well, I don't really know much. I don't know anything about flower shops. I don't really know if that's a long-term, good. I'm like, okay, suspend all of that. Yes. It's just a numbers question. Forget, do you have the $1 million? Can you stroke a check? Is it liquid? Is it not tied up? Do you have to sell other assets? All that. Forget all that. Strictly from an investment play. Would you pay? I mean, would you be satisfied with a 100% rate of return? Would you pay $1 million? Oh yeah. I mean, 100%. Yeah, of course. In a year, yeah.
Who wouldn't?
But it's not just this year. It's every single year. You keep it 20 years. Would you not pay $1 million to make $20 million over the next 20 years?
Of course.
Yeah. So then, would you pay $2 million? Well, yeah. I mean, that's the 50% rate of return. Yeah, of course. Right. Why not? And then, well, what about $4 million? 25% rate of return. Most people have not done the math like that.
Yeah.
Would you pay $4 million? Well, yeah. I mean, I guess 25% is good. I mean, yeah. And now people start thinking about, well, I can borrow at 5 or 6% and make 24%. Yeah. I mean, 18% spread. That's good. Okay. Well, what about $8 million?
2 minutes.
I mean, we lose. You've been there when I've done this. We lose about I'd say closer to 85-90%. Okay. At $8 million, which is a 12.5% rate of return.
Yeah. And then typically at $10 million, you lose everybody.
Everybody's gone at 10.
Yeah.
And then I go, okay, well, remember that Apple stock. So at $10 million, you're at a 10 PE. For every $1 million in revenue, you're paying $10 million for that. And you're saying, I'm out at that. I never would pay more than that. Yet Apple is a good deal. And I remember, I think day before yesterday, I was looking it up. 26.4 was the PE.
Wow.
Which means that for every $1 million in net profit, it's you're paying $26,400,000 based on the current share price. And people are like, wow, I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, you don't know, and neither does anybody else that has a 401k.
Yeah.
And yet we're relying on that to produce this amazing life in our retirement years, which doesn't happen. So what I say is that people don't have this goal, and it's like, wait, it's time to wake up.
Yeah. Here's the scary part for me.
Yeah.
Once we share that with folks, and they don't go take action and change anything, right? That's the scary part. People people know what to do, but don't do what they know.
Well, you know what would have been a pretty short movie is if Neo, when he was meeting with Morpheus,
if he was just taking the other pill,
if he was just taking that blue pill and just gone right back to living the life that he knew and being frustrated.
2 and 3 would have never happened.
Just being in that little cubicle and just doing life and being a power source for the machines, right? It would have been, everything would be fine.
Which a lot of people are taking that pill.
That's right. So, hey, don't swallow the blue pill. Swallow Swallow the
Take the red one.
Take the red pill. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Music says I'm out of time. I'll be back in 4 minutes. I hope you stay tuned.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders?
Morning,
the agency
brother.
for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need
Made it
and
home
when you
okay?
need it.
Y'all had
We're here
some pretty
for you.
bad weather down here.
Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money.
Hey, good morning,
Benchmark
Vicky.
has
Good
been in
morning,
business for over
109.
10 years,
To Av.
and
Good
we insure
morning.
over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our
BLK
exclusive
Mex
investor
45.
package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Cancel school today, you would have to come back to get her. I was like,
Are you looking for an
I'm not free to, like,
investor-friendly
breathe,
general
so-
contractor for your investment property?
you're staying here till
Then
3,
call
just come
Fast
over
Track
now.
Remodeling at 832-742-9992
Yeah,
or
right.
reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
it's fine too, but I
Fast
almost
Track
spent $30
Remodeling
because they
specializes in
decide-
turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself,
1 minute.
no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check
10
before ever
seconds.
repair. Call 346-702-3825.
Hey, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Perry.
Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
This is Business 1110.
Mic's on.
Welcome back, Right Path Real Estate Radio. So the question for you is, what activities are you doing without purpose? I believe we all have them. Now, I don't want you to think that what we're talking about is what you do for a hobby, what you do, things like that. Your hobbies have a purpose. Your family time has a purpose. But what are you doing without a purpose that you think is getting you somewhere, but you really don't have a purpose behind it? And the truth of the matter is that's draining on your life and it's draining on your fortune. So I think it's very important to identify what those things are and not do them. Sometimes it's important to make a not to-do list.
Yes.
A lot of people are really big on to-do lists.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my to-do list. I'm going to get everything done. What about a not to-do list?
Yeah, right.
Things not to do.
Yeah. In fact, that's one of the areas that we feel like that when people come to our event, our 2-day event, our Wealth Through Real Estate Academy, and we're teaching people how to, the skill sets that they need in order to be successful in wholesaling or flipping or buy and hold, that so much, I mean, let's face it, we are the culmination. I mean, everything that we have have done and things like that is a culmination of our thinking process.
Yes.
And that if you want to go to a higher level in life, if you want to go to a different place financially, if you want to go to a different place with your investments, if you want to go to a different place in your business, you're going to have to change how you think.
So don't do the same thing you did yesterday.
No, you can't. And so, for those of y'all that know my journey, I was building a very successful wholesale health insurance agency. And then, when the Affordable Care Act passed, I mean, I was out of business in 30 days and really needed to transition into something else, didn't really know what.
Yeah.
And this is something that I discovered at a very early age, is what was the value of my time. I mean, I remember that, in fact, my dad's on this right now, and I'll tell the story because I know he's listening. But at 16 years old, I mean, my dad said, "Hey, it's the oldest son's responsibility." I've got 2 younger brothers, and when I was 16, I've got one brother that was, I think, 7 at the time, almost 8. So he's too young to mow the yard, right? And then the other son, I mean, he was 4 maybe. I mean, he's almost 12 years younger than me, so he might have been 5. So way too young, obviously. Yeah. And so it's the oldest son's responsibility to do the yard. And we didn't have a huge yard or anything like that, but I mean, there was a lot of flower beds. There was a swimming pool, and it had, for me, it took about 4 hours to do mow, edge, sweep, rake. For some reason, I couldn't get them all, right. I mean, I'd always mess up one of them. I mean, get grass clippings in the pool. I mean, it's just all that kind of stuff, right? But it wasn't that I didn't like work. It wasn't like I was sitting down playing video games. I mean, I was working at a Kroger at the time, making like $7 an hour. I mean, I'd work all day Saturday in a Kroger, for 8 hours. I'd work. Didn't work Sundays too much, but I typically work, 1 or 2 days after school. And just to have extra spending money. And I remember a friend of mine, Peter Taliha, and he's a fireman over in Austin now, and great guy. But we were in high school together, and his summer job, instead of working at Kroger like I did, he and another couple of buddies, they started a lawn mowing business, and he charged $20 to mow the yard. And I'm like, well, heck, I spend 4 hours and I make $7 an hour. That's $28. He only charges $20. Now, it didn't take him 4 hours to do it like it did me, because he had a better system than I did. He had better tools than I did. He had better mowers and bigger and all. And he they'd show up. 3 guys would jump out of the truck, and each one grab a piece, and lo and behold, and I paid the $20 out of my pocket, and so. I mean, I just got at a very early age that there are certain things that I can do with my time, that it's not about working harder. It's about what are the things that you could eliminate to free up time? Because every single person that I know is today busy.
Yes.
From a Richard Branson, a Sir Richard Branson, to a Warren Buffett, to a guy that is digging holes for a foundation company. So they're all really busy, but it's like, how are we valuing our time in order to add value to the marketplace? And that's one of the beautiful things that I love about capitalism, is that we can always make ourselves more valuable to the marketplace.
As humans, spiritually, we are all equal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But in the marketplace, we are not. But here's the
I'm not saying that Warren Buffett's a better human being than the guy that digs a hole for a foundation.
30 seconds.
I mean, I believe in God's eyes, those two people are created equal. But in terms of the marketplace will not pay the same amount that Warren Buffett earns for what that guy does.
The marketplace rewards excellence.
Yes, it does.
For sure.
All right, so I hope you've picked up a few nuggets today. And I want to say adios, and I will be back with Build Your Team Thursday tomorrow. And just know that we love you guys, and we're for you, and we're going to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be. And so thanks so much. God bless. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Thomas. Good morning, Ben.
You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Find Tom at Right